Hello and welcome to episode 38 of the Gamers of the Lost Ark podcast. For those of you listening on a podcast device, we're also posting this, our very first video version, on YouTube too. I'm Anthony Chesson, and joining me this week in 3D is Darren Whitten.
Hello, hi Anthony, how you doing, mate?
Not too bad, sir, not too bad. This is very cool, isn't it?
It is. Look at this amazing, opulent studio. No expense spared on these beautiful surroundings.
There you go. People can actually see what we look like.
They can see, hopefully it won't put people off.
Yeah. For those of you that are shut down, you can still get us on audio version too. So how's your week been?
How's my week been? Not great. I've been a bit poorly, as were you.
Yes.
So we missed a pod. We had to.
Yes.
We were both dying, even though like 300 miles apart. We shared an illness.
Shared germs.
How did we do it? Did it get contracted by the pod, do you think?
Must have been the PlayStation Network, maybe.
Infectious network. So yeah, I was a bit poorly, as I know you were.
Right, yes.
But when I came out of the illness, eventually, it was a bit like Neo getting flushed out, you know, when he wakes up.
Yeah.
In the Matrix, it was like that. I was just surrounded in a pod full of disgusting fluid. And I flushed myself out and came to. It was amazing. So the interesting thing I think I did was I'm moving house, as I've mentioned on the podcast.
Yes.
And as I was recuperating, I didn't want to play any games that demanded too much attention. And we were talking about moving house and this house that we're going to. And we're going to get some walls moved.
Right.
And it was like, we're trying to visualise it. Now, we've got a floor plan, but that's obviously just 2D. And it was sort of like, well, is it the right thing to do? Should we get rid of these walls? So we're chatting about it for a bit. And then I said to Claire, I was just like, you know what? Should we try and build it in Minecraft? And then we can hopefully get an idea of what it's like in the house. Right. And then we can chop the walls down and see if it's going to work. And maybe that'll give us an idea because we can't be in the house. So we sat there and we got the measurements from the estate agent's plan.
Yes.
And built the house. So first I just did the blueprint, so the floor plan, just in tiles, and looked at it. Then it was like, you know what? Let's build the entire house. So we sat there and we created it, and all three of us was doing it.
Yeah.
Well, me and Sam were doing it. Claire watched. She was like the overseer. She had the plan, and she was giving us the.
She was the project manager.
She was overseeing. Yeah. She was the project manager. Yeah. And we built the house up and put the walls in.
Yeah.
And then walked in the house and we're like, okay, yeah. So the wall's here at the moment, and it was like, okay, now let's take this wall down. Let's put this wall here, and so we did that to get an idea of what to do in the future house. I thought, yeah, Minecraft.
So you're going to show that to your builder?
I said this, yeah. I was thinking like, so the builder's going to come round and we're going to say, yeah, we want this to do, and he's going to get out some like, I don't know, thousands of pounds worth of software that he's got to do all this stuff, and I'll say, nah, mate, Minecraft, and we'll put Minecraft on, and I'll say, look, this gives you the idea.
It's the way to go.
It's the way to go.
Absolutely. That's be so cool. So you'll have it on your projector, you'll be able to kind of take him around that area. So this is what I want. Obviously, maybe with less torches and creepers, I guess.
Yeah, it was a bit of a shame because it wasn't very light, so there was a lot of mobs in there.
Yeah.
I had to go and like cleanse the place for it. But
Blackpool on a Friday, I guess.
Blackpool on a Friday, absolutely. Though you give it a bit too much credit. But I was thinking maybe this is how all architecture should progress from here on in.
Absolutely, especially with VR, attach VR into that as well.
Yeah.
Mircraft, VR. Wow. There you go. You're onto something there, sir.
I think maybe the Shard started off in Minecraft.
Did it? Oh, you did. See, I'm just so gullible. See, it's really funny because people will be able to see how gullible I am to all of your stories.
So that was my week. What about yourself?
Well, kind of while we've been away, I had my birthday. So I had birthday. Went to see Deadpool, which is absolutely superb. I mean, Deadpool is. A lot of people are saying it's the kind of palette refresh that people needed. That just kind of, it's an R-rated hero movie. It's self-referential. It's incredibly violent. There's a lot of swearing, but it's just such a fantastic movie. So went to see that. Had lots of barbecue food in the evening.
Nice.
Good fun. I got to play. Kind of, we'll be talking about it in a minute in the play section. I got to play Unravel. So I started playing that, which was really cool. But the great thing about it was kind of my family knew me quite well. I got, I should hope so, being my family, but I got the Ghostbusters Lego Firehouse.
Oh, cool.
So I've joined the ranks with James and others. I've now got that. Yeah. So
that's a nice present.
Oh, it was fantastic. It's just sitting in my movie room at the moment.
In the box?
I haven't built it yet. I need to get some time to do that, which I might start this weekend. But I also got a Lego Wall-E, from the movie Wall-E. So which is quite cool. I'm going to put that on my desk.
How many is that? What are pieces?
Yeah, no, it's about 700 something. It's like about yay big.
Oh, okay.
So but it looks fantastic. It looks really good. I also got the Lego New York skyline. Kind of love New York. So I got this New York skyline. It's got the Empire State Building.
So is that just like a 2D flat?
No, it's 3D. It's a whole kind of 3D kind of along there. You've got kind of Empire State Building or the Statue of Liberty, Empire State Building, the Flatiron. Already have a Flatiron
Your favourite.
Lego. Yeah, exactly. So that was awesome.
That sounds really cool.
So, yeah.
I haven't heard of that before.
Got some tech as well from my good lady wife. She bought me some Philips Hue lights, you know, the ones that you can control via your iOS.
Yeah.
So now when I'm playing Halo, if I'm Team Red, the movie room goes red. Team Blue, movie room goes blue.
Love that.
Once I've got it kind of swish, I might put a post on YouTube or something like that, just kind of showing people kind of how it is, because it's very cool. It's very cool indeed. So yeah, so that was my week. So it was quite good. Yeah, it was a great birthday. It was really cool.
Fantastic.
A couple of days off work, so which was really nice as well.
Yeah. So who got you the firehouse, the Lego firehouse?
The firehouse, that was from Nicola.
Wow.
So I got that and tech. So I was properly spoilt.
That is a great birthday.
It was very good, and I got a Stormtrooper cake as well, which is which is really cool. So it was
Did it have your name on it? Did it have your name on it in Star Wars font?
No, unfortunately it didn't. It just like the Stormtrooper had lots of kind of candles sticking out of it, so it looked quite scary. It was like maybe for episode 9, or episode 8. It was a pretty scary Stormtrooper, but it was very cool. So, so what have you been playing this week apart from Minecraft architecture?
Yeah, well, Minecraft architecture. So yeah, that was really cool. And I'd never played Minecraft in creative mode before. I've always been in the survival mode, which, you know me, with my purist ways, it's like, creative mode's kind of cheating, but it's not. Yeah. If you excuse me, if you want to build something, you can't do that in survival mode. You need to just concentrate and not be hindered by the mobs and what have you, and starvation and things. And it's just a great tool, and it just really opened it up to me all this time that you can use Minecraft in that way that so many people have been doing. Doing one-to-one models of the Starship Enterprise and things like that.
This is fantastic. So was this your Xbox or was it PC?
I got Minecraft first on the PC, but it's on the Xbox.
So you were doing all of this, all the architecture stuff. You were doing that on the PC.
Yeah, just block by block by block, and just looking at the floor plan, and and I couldn't believe it because so basically started off with just the blueprint, just that floor plan, which is just a bunch of squares on the floor. And then it was like, right, well, we'll just follow this through and, pick a scale for how many blocks high the walls are going to be and things. And he's like, right, so this will be the scene. The stairs was complicated, and you started to feel like, in a much smaller degree, what an architect would feel like and the challenges that you had. But when we did it, we just followed the plan, built it up, the roof's there, we was like, did it all to scale. And it all of a sudden it was like, crikey, it looks like the house.
Wow.
It's awesome.
Wow.
So yeah, Minecraft, I really enjoyed that, and I've been playing again because I was poorly. I didn't want to get too involved in anything, so I've left Life is Strange on the side because I was sort of having enough angst as it was, so I didn't want to get involved any further in Max's world. I want to enjoy it, savour every minute of it, really enjoy it. So I shelved that, and I was like, oh, what can I play? So I've been playing my little indie darlings. More of Crypt of the Necrodancer, really enjoying that. Grow Home, which was I got that free on PS Plus months ago.
Yes.
And it got quite a bit of hype and momentum on PC.
Right.
Made by, from Ubisoft. That little developer they've got, they've got the freedom to bring out little nice
so this was the same games as all of those other games that they kind of released, the other kind of little smaller games such as, the World War II one, the World War One. Yeah, what was that called? And also Child of Light as well.
That was what I was trying to think. I was going to say already in the
Valiant Hearts.
Valiant Hearts, yeah.
There you go.
So yeah, it's that sort of ilk, and that's just really fun. I've never really got into it before, and I just thought I want something that's bright and colourful. I can just wander around and enjoy myself in. And something, it's a great little game. What you do, you just you appear on an island, and you're a robot, and your idea is to make a plant grow to reach your spaceship, which is 2,000 metres up in the sky. And to do that, you have to get to, you climb up the plant, and the plant's got several little buds on it. And you get onto a bud, and you press square, and you sort of rodeo ride the bud. You hit square, and it grows. You can make it grow somehow, and off it goes. And you can steer it while that's sort of holding on, and you sort of steer the tentacle, if you like, the appendage of the plant. And you go up and up and up and up and up, and you go through all different sort of biomes as you go up through the atmosphere, and you end up in space, and then you end up growing it to near your spaceship. And the idea is to sort of make the plant blossom, which I think it blossoms at 2,000 metres. And then get a seed from the plant into your spaceship. That's pretty much it. But it's great fun, It's a good old game, and it's got a nice climbing mechanic that you use the triggers for. A little bit like, I don't know if you remember I Am Bread. And I think you sort of use the triggers alternatively to climb, so it's sort of like pad, left, right to hold on, to climb up this giant beanstalk, to get to the next bud, to then trigger the growth
Yeah.
But the thing is, if you like make a mistake and you fall,
Yeah.
it's like 1,000 meters. You can just fall to the floor. There are save points, but it's just like no.
So is that it? You fall and then you die, and then you've got to start again?
Yeah,
or,
there's a few save points, but you go to the next save point, and it's just like, that's a pain. Because sometimes, if you haven't saved a point that's near where you were, you know, you're the king of the world, like so many feet. It's just a bit of a pain. So, but that's really good. So
you recommend it? So
yeah,
because I've got it. I mean, like I say, it was a free PS Plus a good 6 months ago, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So I've got it downloaded. I see it every now and then when I look in my library on my PlayStation, but I've just never.
Yeah, if you're at that stage like I was, where you don't want to get invested in it, another big game, and you just want to have a little play with something that's light and fun. Yeah, I'd give it a few hours. It's really good.
That's really cool.
I was a little bit not happy with the way that the controls. It's a bit floaty on the control.
Yes.
So I was a little bit. I think that's what put me off at first.
Right.
But I just thought I'll invest a bit of time because I've learned some lessons. As I said, with like Until Dawn and some other games where when you invest some more time instead of just cardboard. It's not good. The 5-second challenge.
That quick 5-second litmus test. No, don't like it. It's
rubbish. Yeah. And it's really good. And I thought it would be because it's got a lot of good press. So that was really enjoyable. And the other game, this one was provided by the developer, Brace Yourself Games, was Lovers in a Dangerous Space Time.
Oh, okay.
Have you heard of it?
I have it because it came out on Xbox One, hasn't it? Previously. So did you get a code for the PS4?
Yeah, I got the PS4. And it's out on PC as well. And it's a great little game. I got it because I was going to cover it on the pod that we didn't do.
Yeah.
Sort of tying it in with Valentine's Day.
Right.
Because it's kind of the Mr. and Mrs. of video games in a way. Because it's one of these games where two players have to cooperate to play the game.
Yeah.
There is a single player mode, but I haven't even played that. So what happens is you've got this spaceship.
Yeah.
And you have to work together to fly it. So you've got a spaceship, and it's like a sphere, and it's got all these different rooms within the spaceship, and each room has a different control.
Yeah. Right.
So you've got the engine room, and then you've got like a gun, left gun, right gun, top gun, and bottom gun.
Right.
And then you've got a shield as well.
Right.
So 2 of you are in there, and each of you can go to a room and control one of these control methods. So one of you can man the gun, and the other one can fire.
Right.
Or one of you can man the shield, and the other one can drive.
Yeah.
And you're getting attacked at the same time. And the idea is you've got to go and save these space bunnies. And you save so many bunnies, which opens the portal and you do the level.
Yeah.
But it's just really cool because you've got to work together.
Yeah.
And it's one of them games that, you can be instantly arguing and at each other's throats within about 2 minutes. I said, get on the shield.
So you said it was a Valentine's game, but really it was
a
kind
test.
of like
it's a test of your. It's a test of your Valentine's
That's so cool. So were you playing it with Claire?
Actually, I ended up playing it with Sam.
Right.
Because I got it and I was like, this is fantastic. Sam says, what's that? I said, this is called Lovers in a Dangerous Space Time. It's a classic game. It's 2-player. He was like, 2-player, can I play?
Right.
And I love to involve him in games.
Yeah.
And I love it because even though he's 5, it's like the same tool set.
Right.
We've both got the same tool set, and I love that. There's no difference. Well, there's probably no difference anyway in the mental age. So we sat there, and we did the tutorial together.
Yep.
Which I found is a lot easier. We went through that together. And then before you know it, we were manning it. But he sort of decided, you can power up the guns, and one of the guns got like a beam attachment, which was really cool.
Right.
But that was him. He's like on the beam. And it's the left gun. I'm like, Sam, they're attacking us from this side. I can't fly the ship and do the shield. That's impossible. You can't do it. He's like, yeah, but I like this. And I was going, Sam, right. Yeah. Well, me and Claire had to go as well. And it's just cool. But it's kind of like, you've got to get on the shield, babe. Yeah. Or, she's like, Daz, you've got to get on that top gun.
Nice.
And you've got to communicate. It's couch co-op.
Right.
At its finest. It's a great little game. It's about $11.99 to download. So it's just a little game. It's very fun, very bright.
Right.
And again, it fitted with my mood because I didn't want anything, too angsty. And it's just fun, apart from the warning that, you might be at each other's throats. It reminded me a bit of Joust when I used to play 2-player Joust back in the day.
Yeah.
And it's like, we'd play Joust and it'd be like, right, we're not going to hit each other. And then within 30 seconds, one of you's knocked the other one off. Me and my mate used to end up on the floor like punching each other. So that was my 3 games that I've played.
Nice. It seems like a nice mix of games that you got there. Especially kind of like you say, like Grow Home and Lovers in the Dangerous Space Time. I think I might definitely try both of those.
And they've all been happy and bright. So I think it's coming out of the chrysalis of the illness. That's what I needed, and that's the beauty of games, isn't it? You can pick the games to suit your mood.
Yeah. What's on your radar for next?
Well,
have you got anything?
Life is Strange.
Right. Oh yeah.
I'll probably have that completed for the next podcast.
Yep.
Next, Wednesday-ish. I hope to have that completed. And you know what? I'm at a bit of a junction. I've cleared my backlog.
Right.
And Mirror's Edge Catalyst is the next one I'm looking forward to.
Okay.
So that's due March.
Right. Yes,
So
mid-March.
I've got a bit of a breather, I think. I've got a bit of a breather. So what have you played?
Well, I mean, like I said, I played Unravel on my birthday, so kind of got home from kind of having some barbecue food, very full, started playing Unravel, so I got through probably about the first 6 levels of Unravel, which was just fantastic. It's as good to play as it looks. You know, when we've seen all of these preview events, and when I went to Gamescom last year and I didn't play it, I just wanted to just kind of look at it. Once you start playing with it, it's just as adorable playing it as it is kind of, it gets a little bit frustrating in times when you've got to work it out, but you know, each level is its own puzzle. You've got to try and get to the next piece of yarn before kind of Yarny kind of runs out and he can't move anymore.
Is the yarn constantly sort of disappearing from
Constantly tied to something. So
if you stand still, you're okay though, are you?
Yeah, stand still. Yeah, it's just when you move. So as you move, it just kind of unravels from within, and so hence the name. See, but when you get to a certain point, he becomes almost. You see his wireframe. And it's almost quite sad. It's quite creepy.
Yeah.
You know,
does his expression change at all? Did he get sad?
No.
Did he sort of go? Oh.
No, because he hasn't got a face. He hasn't got a mouth. He's just got eyes. So he's very kind of expressive. But he's fantastic. It's such a great. And the great thing about it is because Yarny is kind of only so yay big. When you're in these environments, you know, you see I think there was a hedgehog in the background. The hedgehog looks ginormous. So it's there on my TV, and it just looks so huge, you know, and it was just such a great game. So it's kind of one of those games I'm really enjoying. It's quite tricky, you know, it's not easy. You know, there's some really good puzzles in there, some really interesting puzzles of how you're going to go, because you've got to be able to swing for bits. So you've only got so much rope or so much yarn until you get to the next one. So you've got to be able to, you've got to look at the level and plan the level right, and then once you've planned that level, you know, off you go. And it's fantastic. I haven't touched a walkthrough yet, but I am at a bit where I'm kind of a little bit stuck. But it's just kind of once
Don't
you do
weaken.
it,
You can't do it. You can't do it, man.
No, I won't do it. It's a bit like The Witness. You know, it gives you that kind of, you know, I worked it out. You know, high five me type thing.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
so I've been playing
positive
that.
reinforcement that we love.
Well, I mean, I'm definitely going to get back into it because I've got a lot of games in my kind of pile of shame. You know, there is like Metal Gear Solid, there is Fallout, there is The Witcher.
It's all about now. Don't worry
but
about
I'm
it.
just kind of looking forward now. I mean, some of the other games that I have played and finished this week, I played Firewatch. So download Firewatch. I think, as we said last week, we got a code from Campo Santo for a Steam version. So I had a quick play. Knew I was going to like it. I think I knew I was going to like it from the first screenshot.
That is on my list actually. I want to get involved in a bit of Firewatch.
It's glorious. I mean, it is just. I mean, well, no spoiler alert. I won't go into the story too much. You know, we kind of touched on it a little bit, where you're playing as Henry, which is the main character, and you know he's a Firewatch. You know, he's in this forest and things start happening. It's about 5 hours. I played it in 2 sittings. So I wish I'd have just kind of sat in one, but you don't need to do it in one sitting. I played it in 2, really enjoyed it. The character is just so, you don't see his face, you kind of see some drawing, so you know what Henry looks like.
Does he speak? Do you get a bit of a monologue from him?
Oh, all the time, constant dialogue. He's actually voiced by one of the guys from Mad Men.
Oh, okay.
So he's voice, and he's great voice acting. There's you hear him. There's a couple of other characters, but mainly it's between you and your supervisor.
Right.
So there's just talk over the radio, and it's just fantastic. The dialogue, it's fantastic. You do get to make some choices as well. So it's a little bit kind of, you can talk about things, you can broach certain subjects, and so you do get to control some choices as well.
So is there a choice of ending?
I
Would you say?
Well, there could be, but I'm not sure. I've only played one ending.
Okay.
I haven't, because there could be, because almost the last bit, there was a few options.
What do you think about multiple endings?
I like.
like
I mean,
it?
you're going to get the best multiple ending. I think what James and I was, you know, and James and I were very different as well. When you play Life is Strange, that is an ending where. It was quite funny because with Life is Strange, when I got to the ending, I was happy with my ending.
That's the thing, because I love the freedom of choice, and I love that because that's an evolution of gaming, to be able to give you this ending that responds to the way you played the game.
Yeah.
But sometimes I think if I didn't get the ending that I particularly wanted, it's like, have I got the time to play it? Oh, it's about time, really.
Yeah.
You might really want to play it, but if something else comes along. And it's about time versus that. And I felt it the most with Fallout 4.
Yeah.
Because I made a mistake and made my allegiance mistakenly to the wrong team.
Right.
But didn't realise I'd done that until further down the line. And I'm talking, you know, like 10, 20 hours down the line.
Right.
I know, it sounds stupid for not realising. And then it was just like, it was just too late, and I could not do it. I couldn't face it. But usually, I like you say, I usually get the ending I want because I play the way that I want to play. You know,
Yeah.
I've always missed a night. I'm quite boring.
I mean, Life is Strange was a great one because I did just sit there when you got the ending. It kind of the way you'll see it play out. You're faced with these two choices, and I just sat there. And I think James was exactly the same. We just like sat there and like
At the crossroads.
yeah, don't know what to. And that happened about 3 or 4 times in Life is Strange. You know, it just constantly.
I love that. I love
constantly
that.
happens. But with Firewatch, you know, again, there was a great choice, and it was almost a natural choice. I chose that one. That was kind of what I wanted to do. Loved it. Absolutely fantastic game. It's quite interesting because if you jump into it now, there's been a patch, so they've released a kind of 1.1 patch, and that helps with some of the frame rate issues. There's some of the, you know, there were some issues. I did have, I got to a certain point in the story, and I was repairing a window, and I had logs, but it wouldn't let me repair a window, so I had to go back to the start and replay it. All things like that have now been fixed in the patch, so.
It's a shame.
It's a lot more stable now, so which is really good. They've got a whole list. I'll put a link actually to the Firewatch release notes because there's just some really good stuff on there. Like I say, the game is fantastic, well worth the time, and it's just glorious. You know, I just hope it comes on to things like Xbox and as well because more people should be playing this game. You know. Campo Santo are now kind of up there. You know, it's a bit like Don't Nod with Life is Strange. It really is those studios that, I mean, obviously this is Campo Santo's first game, but it's those studios you like, I like what you guys are doing.
Yeah, yeah.
And I kind of got to think, you know, with Life is Strange and with the Telltale games and with this, I really like these narrative stories.
Yeah.
You know, I love open world, and I am going to go back to Metal Gear. Out of all of that pile of shame, I think Metal Gear deserves the time. So even though I know you weren't happy with the ending, but I think that kind of deserves the time.
Yeah, well, the thing is with Metal Gear, you know, you can ignore the story and just enjoy the challenge it gives you.
Yes.
In that world with that tool set.
Yeah.
It's like going there and do. I started because I'm not that into the story, and I just started to just think, right, forget the story. I'm on my own mission.
Yeah.
And it's just like I want to get to A to B in this fashion.
Yes.
And do it this way. And
Yeah.
I was just like,
Yeah.
the detail there is amazing.
And I think I need to go back to that. I think, you know, in all the games that I've played and all the games that are kind of sitting there, I think that out of those three, that's the one that I really need to get into.
Yeah. But with these smaller games from the indies, this is the thing, you see. The games, I mean, I'm sure it's a lot of money to the indie developer. I'm
Yes.
not saying that it's cheap. Oh, it's easy to make a game, by no means. But relatively to the AAAs, the blockbusters we've got that are costing millions and millions of pounds, dollars, you know, there's a big difference. And that allows them the freedom to give us the game of these different choices, these different options, these different experiences.
Yeah.
And without that market, I think the game in Horizon would be a lot bleaker.
Yeah, no, really do. I mean, for me, like I say, they are really the ones that are my go-to games at the moment. You know, I've downloaded Telltale Michonne, you know, the 3-part. I've downloaded part 1.
Yeah.
That's going to be my game this weekend. I'm going to be playing that. Totally looking forward to that. You know, I really kind of. But I must say, with Firewatch, it's quite slow. The guy kind of walks around a bit like kind of Gone to the Rapture. You know, he's a bit of a chunky dude because he's got like chunky fingers. When you jump over a rock,
Is that the reference you've got? You don't see any. You see his fingers.
just see his like, chunky fingers when he's kind of moving, and you see his legs as well. You see his shorts, and he's got little socks, and he looks a bit chunky. You know, I could relate. So it was just like, you know, so it was quite cool. But I mean, I must admit, playing that in VR. I would love to play that in VR.
Yeah.
I would just love, especially, and again, no spoilers, but towards the end, I would love to play that in VR.
And so many games like of that ilk.
Yeah.
It's like they're made for VR, stealth made for VR.
Yeah.
Maybe it's that they're just not allowed to say. They're all under NDA,
Yes.
but they were all made for VR as well. I mean, how can Gone to the Rapture not be going
Yeah.
to VR? How can Firewatch not be going to VR?
I'd play them
Strange
all
thing.
again. I'd play them all again if they were in VR. I would play Firewatch again. Like I say, it's 5 hours. It's an evening. I would play Firewatch again if it was on VR. So I've been playing that. Next up, I've been playing Lego Marvel Avengers. So my dad bought me Lego Marvel Avengers on the Vita. So I've got the Vita. I've got it on Xbox One because Nicola's not playing it. She's playing Witcher. So I managed to play it first. So I finished Lego Marvel Avengers. That's done. I rolled the credits on all of the different sections. I got to the point with Lego games that I do. Nicola's a bit more of a completionist. Her brother's a bit more of a completionist. 1,000 gamer score, all of the stuff. I kind of do all of the stories. If there's some cool little achievements, you know, what you need to unlock, I do that. I went to the Manhattan, it's very open world in Manhattan, went there, unlocked all of the Defenders, which is Daredevil, it's Iron Fist, it's Jessica Jones, all the stuff that's going to be Netflix, got that achievement. I was like, I'm happy, I'm done. I'm done with that. So that was a physical disc, so Nicola's going to play that next. She may even be taking a break from The Witcher to have a bit of a play on that. But I've also got it on the Vita, and it differs slightly. It differs slightly, but it's still fantastic.
So it's not cross-play then?
No, well, I got that on Xbox One.
Oh yeah, sorry, yeah.
So no, it's very much its own beast. And my dad got me it was a game, so I got the little cartridge for the back of the Vita, which was interesting. I think the game that I took out of that was what did I take out of it? I think it might be Batman, Arkham, the Arkham game, the Metroidvania Batman game.
Is it still UMDs? I mean, that was PSP.
No, it's not UMD. It's that little proprietary memory card. So it's not like a proper memory card. It's like a little proprietary, little smaller one.
Yeah.
So got that. Played Lego Marvel Avengers. Loved it. Looks amazing. It's such a great game. You know, it's really cool. And then finally, we got a code from Psychonix, the developer for Rocket League. So Rocket League has come to Xbox One, so we got a code for that. So I downloaded that, started playing that, and oh my God, is that a good game? You know, I know everyone's going, well, Rocket League has been out for a year, you know, but I guess with PlayStation, I joined it a bit late, and I was just getting my clock cleaned all the time. You know, I was on a PlayStation game, and I was just over in the corner whimpering, you know, crying. You know, I was just like, I can't do this. But now on Xbox, you got a fresh start.
There's something about you in Xbox, though.
Yeah.
You always prefer it on Xbox.
Yeah,
same game, exactly the same. It's like, but on Xbox, it's amazing.
I just
it's rubbish on
know.
PS4.
I don't know what it is.
Controller,
it's
maybe?
Probably because of Viva Pinata.
Could be.
So, but Rocket League, Xbox One, it's fantastic. But no, the thing was with that, everyone was starting afresh. So there's quite a few people on my playlist, on my friends list that are playing it. You know, they're all starting afresh. And when you're looking at the achievements, when you're looking at the leaderboards, we're all like, we've only won 10 games and things like that.
Building up together instead of you jumping in at the deep end and everyone's just like, what are you doing?
Exactly. Quick tip was I unlocked the Armadillo. So you know there's a Gears of War and there's also a Halo car for Rocket League.
Yeah.
To unlock the Armadillo, what you need to do is do a season. You need to win a season. So what I did was I did the season down to nine teams, 4 teams in the playoff, onto rookie, went through it, got that, and I unlocked the Armadillo. Armadillo is fantastic.
Excellent.
And was my go-to vehicle until this week they announced that the Batmobile from Batman vs Superman is coming to Rocket League.
Wow.
So we're a month away from from that movie. So they've started, the hype has started, and we're starting seeing that in games. We're getting flags, we're getting Batman, Wonder Woman, Superman flags for the cars, but we're also getting the Batmobile. So that is day one purchase for me, and will be the only vehicle I play as. So
is there any other vehicle that you think they could bring to the game?
Well, they've already got the
vehicle.
They've got the DLC for the DeLorean. That was on PlayStation, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So they got that. You know, they could do Ecto 1. You know, they could do. There's so much that they could do. You know, they could start doing
Mad Max.
Yeah,
Mad Max cars would be pretty good.
Carmageddon. Was it Carmageddon?
Yeah.
All of those cars. You know, the one with the big clown. They could do that, couldn't they? You know, that would be really cool. So you've got all of that stuff. There is so much they can do with that. And
they could just keep bringing out iconic cars for just forever.
Yeah. It just
do they have different features? I mean, do they all play the same, or is there different?
No, it's purely aesthetic. I mean, they don't. I don't know if they kind of jump higher or they go faster, or maybe the DeLorean kind of. But I think with that, the DeLorean leaves streaks on the pitch. With the Armadillo, you know, when you're playing Gears of War and you have to do that light. You know, you have to do the UV lights to kill those kind of bat things. That is so when you do your charge, when you do your rocket, that's what comes out of the back.
Oh, okay.
It looks so cool. It looks so cool. After I got the Armadillo, I looked at an achievement which was use your boost for like 5 minutes. So that was just because at one match I was 6-0 up. So I was just going around, just loving it.
Try to write your name, things like that.
In like UV. But it was just absolutely fantastic. So it's just absolutely superb. Love it.
They could bring out Wipeout vehicles if they haven't.
Yeah.
I was starting to think, I don't know whether I've imagined that, whether I've read something about that already. But yeah, that would be cool. But yeah, the world's the oyster with it, isn't it?
So I'm really getting to handle with it. It's a bit of a crazy thing. It's quite funny. I've even started like watching some things on like Let's Plays and to see if I'm playing like everybody else.
Get some tips.
And I seem to be kind of just as crazy as everybody else.
And are the servers busy?
Yes.
So it's selling.
Yeah.
That's great.
It's selling gangbusters. It really is. You know, there is just. I'm always able to join matches. I've done 3-3-3, 4 players as well. You know, 4x4. And I'm just really loving it. Really loving it. It's just really good. So I'm hoping there'll be some more people. You know, kind of get kind of like a bit of a game going kind of on there. But it's just at the moment loving it. My team's called the Sparks. You know, of course. So it's just fantastic. Great game. really good. I mean, like I say, a lot of people know this because it's been out on PlayStation
Yeah,
for
it's been
about
out
a
for
year.
ages,
But I'm absolutely loving it.
Cool.
So, with that, it's time to get onto our news section. So, in this week's news section, Halo 5 is getting the update that we pretty much all wanted. Bioshock HD is getting, well, Bioshock is getting a HD collection, I should say, and a dedicated gaming hotel has opened up in Europe. But first, over to you, Daz. You've got the first piece of news.
Yeah, the first piece of news with myself is about Naughty Dog and the latest trailer for Uncharted 4. So we had a brilliant new trailer for Uncharted 4, a game that is on, I think, both our lists for getting on day one. Looks really fantastic. A new trailer was released, and that's great. You know, what would you say about that? Well, it's great. It's just a trailer, but a very interesting thing happened. Part of the trailer, the characters are sitting in a room, and the camera lingers on a picture.
Right.
So it's on the wall.
Right.
And the pictures of a beach with the waves crashing gently, you know, against the beach. And you know, you don't think anything of it until a guy from Ubisoft, the head of content for Assassin's Creed, watched the trailer and he tweeted out, "Oi, you've nicked one of our assets."
Wow.
So yeah, it's really interesting. He wrote, "I get the thief title now," did Amar.
Shots fired.
If you look at the trailer at the 1 minute 37 mark,
Right.
you can see the picture in question. And if you go to Eurogamer, they've got an article of it. I'll
we put a link?
Yeah, we'll put a link in the show notes. And it does a direct comparison. It sort of inflates the picture
Right.
and shows it against Assassin's Creed Black Flag concept art. There's no question. It's
Yes.
exactly the same picture. So it's like so strange that Naughty Dog, you know, they're not short of a bob or two. Why would they take it? Why would they take the artwork? Why would they use it? And people were tweeting, you know, oh, big internet drama. And I was just thinking, why would you do that? You know, I can't understand. Is it like you probably said, like a tribute, just a
Yeah,
nod?
is it a
you know?
homage
Yeah,
to Assassin's Creed?
yeah. You know, imitation is the best form of flattery.
Yeah.
You know,
Because after all, it's about pirates, isn't it?
It's about pirates.
There you go.
They're just saying, yeah, it's about pirates. So it was a bit of a mystery, but then Naughty Dog reached out and told everybody the reason. They admitted and apologised. They said, yeah, it is an honest mistake. And what it was just a placeholder.
Right.
So they just used that picture as a placeholder within that painting for want of not having any other art, I suppose.
Yes.
And it was supposed to be changed,
Right.
but it just got missed in QA or whatever. And so the trailer went out having that placeholder in there instead of them changing it. So that was the reason. They just putting everything together. It's just like, oh, well, we'll put any old thing there. We've got this. We like this picture. We'll just put that from Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag in there, and that'll do. But then it just got out there without that being rectified. So that was the reason. But
could have been a lot worse, couldn't it?
it could have been a lot worse. It's lucky lucky that they used Black Flag as their inspiration.
Could have been an Xbox game or even someone's holiday pictures or something.
Yeah, or some secret.
Yeah.
Some like Sony secret.
Oh, it was like a spoiler, the last scene of Uncharted 4.
yeah. Or PSVR's price.
Yes.
Or a blueprint for PlayStation 5.
There you go.
I don't know, it could have been anything. But they did say that they wanted to sincerely apologise to everyone at Ubisoft, the Assassin's Creed team, the original artist and our fans. So a humble apology from Naughty Dog for that. But yeah, it was just a placeholder. But yeah, imagine that you created something and then it turned. I'd be flattered. But then I don't. I haven't gone through blood, sweat, and tears creating a game. Because there was talk that, Shadows of Mordor stole a load of assets from Assassin's Creed 2. Do you remember that?
Right.
And they did a side-by-side model comparison, and the way that he walked and everything was exactly the same.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But Naughty Dog also got a bit of form. I was looking because when I was reading about this, a few of the news outlets mentioned it that, like in Uncharted 3, two of the protagonists at the beginning. You've got they're just so much like Jason Statham and Helen Mirren.
Right.
I actually thought they were them in the game, but they're not. But they're not them.
Yes.
But they look like exactly the same. And
likeness rights.
Yeah. So they've got form on doing that.
Wow.
So I thought that was quite interesting.
That's really cool. No, that's really interesting. But you know, it's nice that they admitted to it. Go, absolutely, yes. We have stolen from AC4. You know, but if anything, you know, like I say, Ubisoft would be going, oh, that's great. Naughty Dog are playing our game.
Yeah, and you know. They get mentioned. It's brought it all up into a big furore. Everyone knows about Assassin's Creed Black Flag again.
See, everyone's forgotten about that, but now they might go and have a look. Oh, that looks good. I might go and have a go. It was free, wasn't it, on PS Plus or Xbox?
Yeah, I think it was. It was very
a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, the last few Assassin's Creed have been really cheap anyway, haven't they? But they're okay.
Yeah.
I keep being tempted to get into Syndicate because I want to run around London.
Right.
But I'm just a bit creeded out.
Yeah.
Just a bit creeded out. But this brings me on to something else that I don't think we've got in our notes, that Ubisoft have come out and said that Assassin's Creed's not going to come out as a yearly thing anymore.
No.
They're sort of going to go back, maybe not to the drawing board, but they're going to refine it. And that's a good thing. We covered that a few weeks ago, didn't we?
So they're skipping this year, and then when it comes out next year, it won't be an annual franchise again. It's going to be, maybe they'll do every other year, which they should do.
They should do. Make it more special.
Yeah, indeed.
And you look forward to it instead of going, rinse and repeat.
Yeah.
So, So,
I'd say wait even longer for the next Assassin's Creed.
Make people hungry.
Yeah, indeed.
Need it.
Next piece of news is with me, and this is about Halo 5. Now, as we know, I think I was at E3 when Bonnie Ross or Kiki Wolfkill, one of those guys, they announced that they're going to be releasing content, regular content for Halo 5, and it's going to be free. So they did a news article the other day. They did a posting which had a really cool video. Again, I'll stick that in the show notes. And this was about the new content that's coming both in the spring and also in the summer for Halo 5. The biggest thing out of all of it is one, Griffball's back, so the Grav Hammer's coming, which is really cool. So that was quite nice to see. I quite enjoyed Griffball. That was a Forge game, wasn't it? That was built in Forge, and then 343 were like, yeah, we'll take that. That's quite cool. Quite like that. So Griffball's coming back, the Grav Hammer's coming back. I'm sure it's going to look and sound lovely. We've also got the original Spartan pistol from Halo Combat Evolved.
Right.
Is also coming. That wasn't in Halo 5. So we've got the new one, 3 shots, quite powerful. So that's going to be an interesting one, and I'm sure going to be the go-to gun for a lot of people.
Yeah.
So you expect to see that.
Especially because you can aim down sights now.
Yes, indeed. And I think they're bringing back that animation where your Spartan would spin. You know, when you shot them in player versus player, they would like spin round as they died. There was that, because they're bringing that back as well. But the biggest thing for me was that right at the end they teased that they're bringing Warzone Firefight. So Warzone, that's those giant maps in Halo 5. They're bringing back Firefight and they're putting in there. They're saying it's 4+ players, so we don't know how many people it's going to be, but I would love to have 4, 8, a team of 8, kind of, if we've got...
Yeah, because 4's it'd be too vacuous in the map.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, have you played any Warzone?
Yeah, but not much.
Right.
It's been a long time.
Because the great thing about Warzone is you're kind of playing it, you're playing kind of player versus player, and then every now and then the AI just comes into the middle, and then you've suddenly got a big character from Halo.
We played a bit together, didn't we?
We did. So you've just got this big character in there, you have to take that character down, and obviously it's a bit cheeky because while your opponents are taking that character down, you can kind of like sniper them. But what we're getting, big Warzone, we're getting Firefight. So I am so excited about this. I have a feeling that this is going to be E3. This gets announced. Not announced, but gets released.
Yeah.
So, you're going to have, again, Bonnie Ross, Kiki Wolfkill come on stage, Halo 5, this is what's happening, maybe in the maybe a bit of a teaser. You can now play Warzone Firefight, the thing that everybody wanted. Spartan Ops, like it or love it, Spartan Ops is there. Spartan Ops was in the Master Chief Collection. They didn't have Spartan Ops in Halo 5. I think a lot of people didn't like it, that continual story.
Yeah.
But Firefight for me is kind of where it's at. That was in ODST, wasn't it? Reach.
Yeah.
And I just absolutely loved it. I played a lot with Nicola. Nicola and I played a lot of Firefight. Also played with some friends. We just kind of get like a group of 4. But if this goes beyond 4, I can just see getting a big group of people together, and we can just kind of play, and it'll just be so much fun.
Yeah, sounds like great fun. And a good thing to announce at E3 because, what are they going to talk about? They're not going to talk, apart from the TV show.
Yeah.
If that's still happening, then that's a great thing to bring to the table.
Well, exactly, because they've got Gears, they've got Crackdown, but then if they have a whole E3 briefing without talking about Halo, that's not Microsoft.
They do need something.
So even if it's just a teaser for Halo 6 or whatever we're going to get.
I was going to say though, in sort of going along the same lines as with Assassin's Creed, I don't want them to sort of saturate it really. I think Halo 5 is here. It needs to breathe. I would hope that they didn't announce anything for Halo 6 till next year. Yeah. I'd prefer that, but it sort of gets like a little bit like a conveyor belt, doesn't it? So I don't know. They may do. Or if they did one of the, I don't really like this sort of thing either. But they could just give a teaser.
Yes.
But then I hate teasers for something that's like coming 2022.
Well, they did that, didn't they, a couple of years ago, where Master Chief was in the sand and he kind of whipped back his thing. You know, it was kind of almost like it was like Journey, wasn't it? You know, you saw.
Yeah.
But
I still got totally excited when that happened.
Yeah.
I was like, yes.
Okay.
So I say, on one hand, I'm saying don't do it, but then I get so excited when they do it. I love it. I love those sort of like announcements as well.
So we've got new maps, new multiplayer maps. We've got Firefight coming very soon. The great thing, obviously, about all of this is it's all free, so it's keeping everyone on the same playing field. You know, it's not. We won't get to a case of you know, little Johnny in his Star Wars Battlefront with the haves and have-nots. This is everyone will be on the same equal standing, and this is going to be available for all. We've got a couple of maps that they released now, which are available now in the February update, and then, like I say, Firefight and the likes are coming soon.
Nice one, nice one. Prolonged gaming for the Halo fans.
Absolutely, absolutely. Next piece is with you, sir.
Cool, yeah. This one's just a quick one, really, about PlayStation Network. We've got some scheduled maintenance coming up on the 3rd of March, 2016. So they're going to do it on the 3rd of March for approximately 2 hours. The maintenance is going to take place between GMT time, 5:30 a.m. and 7:30 a.m. So it's probably not going to affect many people, sort of Europe way. But it will hit gamers in North America, especially those along the West Coast. In North America, it's going to take place on Wednesday, the 2nd of March, and that's going to be between 9:30 p.m. PST and 11:30 PST. So that's a bit of a pain, really. But I suppose they can't please all the people all the time, and it's refreshing that Europe are going to sort of not be affected so much. So during that period, you won't be able to use PlayStation Network or any related services as usual. So you won't be able to use your PSN account, PlayStation Store, or PlayStation Now.
Wow.
But it's only a couple of hours. But, you know, it doesn't say what they're doing, just scheduled maintenance. I wonder what they're doing.
Well, they're probably getting ready for. Did you get that invite for the beta?
Yeah, for the new.
You probably didn't do it because after your beta, after your NXOE experience, you probably not jumped. But the great thing about it was, because I was going to say to you, was if you did opt in, they're actually giving you a method, which is not reset and rebuild your console, but they're giving you a method to remove the beta.
Oh right, like a nice little elegant rollback.
Yes, so there is an option to remove the beta.
Have you signed up?
I have indeed. You know, I like the new shiny. I like the kind of new features and functions. So I'm happy to kind of jump in and stuff like that. So that's coming. You know, interesting with the PlayStation maintenance is that Xbox has had a bit of a wobbly week this week, isn't it? You know, we were sick last week. This week, Xbox is sick. Yeah,
it's been very sick, hasn't it? Yeah, you got Major Nelson. Sorry, not Major. Larry. Major Nelson. Sorry,
Larry Hub.
I know. I'm thinking of another
Phil
guy.
Spencer.
Ah, mate. Yeah, Phil. Phil Spencer fighting the good fight.
That you forgot his name.
I don't know. Sorry, Phil. Sorry. So he's been fighting the good fight on Twitter, hasn't he?
Yes.
Against all the fans going mad. And yeah, I haven't been affected by it.
Yeah.
But
I have.
I've been more predominantly on PS4, so
That's
I've
why.
been okay.
But I have. I mean, the worst thing about it was.
I was hearing reports you couldn't even play a Blu-ray.
No,
Xbox Live's down.
worst thing about it was I've been away for a couple of days. I've been kind of in my Manchester office with work. But on Tuesday night, I wanted to play a bit of Rocket League. You know, so fired up Xbox, or it might have even been Monday night. Wanted to play a bit of Rocket League. Couldn't even fire up the game. I couldn't even fire up Lego Marvel Avengers, which was a disc that was in my game. It couldn't validate it. So it just went having problems, can't connect.
You need to validate it. I thought there was no DRM.
You know, luckily with Xbox, they are doing things every month. They do these changes, and hopefully they can try and start disconnecting things like that.
Yeah, just siphoning that sort of those parts of the infrastructure that were put in from the start.
Indeed.
It's shocking, isn't it? I mean, my worst experience of it was when it happened at Christmas.
Yes.
And you just couldn't do anything. It was disabled, and there was a case in point, I thought, for just not allowing this internet, this always connected sort of utopia that they thought it was great. It's just when the service goes down, you've got thousands, millions of gamers that just can't play. You can't use the service. Can't watch TV. Can't watch
Netflix.
There
was stuff like that. It was like
they're selling it as a media hub, aren't they? You know? And so people will put their whole media world in there, gaming and movies and TV.
Yeah.
And essentially, it's just redundant.
I mean, you know, things like this don't happen too often with Xbox Live.
Very true.
You know, Xbox Live is always kind of, it's very much, if you go onto like status.xboxlive.com, something like that, it does break them all down. There's like purchasing, friends, achievements, you know, all this, and it's not very often that you go there and it's all red.
No, I mean, it's got the reputation. I mean, Microsoft's got the rock solid infrastructure.
Yeah.
You know, it's always PS4 that's the flaky one.
Yeah.
So it's surprising and shocking, isn't it, when it takes a hit, especially when it's for longer than just a blip.
I can expect to see a lot of people at Redmond running around. They don't want to do this. This is not what they designed it. They want people to just be able to game. They don't want this bad time. But maybe a lot of people running around and thinking, right, we need to pull some things forward rather than having it so dependent on Xbox Live, with stuff like this.
And because it's like a red rag to a bull, because as soon as it goes down, it gets flagged because people are playing, people are gaming. People get the carpet pulled from underneath them. It's like, I can't game now. Instantly, Twitter flares up. The internet's like, it's dead. If they hadn't got that in there, then it might go under the carpet a little bit easier. One aspect's down, doesn't matter. Everyone's still playing. They'll play their disc-based games. You're probably going to still have multiplayer-based stuff shouting out. But it's surprising.
The funny thing was, I was listening to a podcast this morning on the way to our studio. I was listening to a podcast on my train journey up here, and it was basically it was quite funny because Major Nelson was on the podcast, and he was saying on Podcast Unlocked, I think it was, and he was saying that there was a couple of people on Twitter saying it was us, saying it was a DDoS attack, and he was like, no, it wasn't. I've seen the stats. It had nothing to do with you. So because Xbox Live went down, they thought they could claim it, thought they could kind of stick their flag, and it wasn't. I think it was a genuine server issue. It had nothing to do with DDoS.
Good. Well, that's good.
Indeed. Right, next piece of news from me, just a quick one. This is really interesting and something for our audience, and I guess this is going to be our next holiday vacation location, Daz, because in Amsterdam they have opened up the very first game-dedicated hotel. This hotel is called the Arcade Hotel. I'm seeing here from my notes. It's called the Arcade Hotel, and it's in Amsterdam. This hotel has retro consoles everywhere. In the lobby, in every room, there is a retro console. Now, I don't know if you can say, I want the SNES room, or I want the Mega Drive room. I would love to be able to do that and be able to book it. But in the lobby, there's consoles, there's TVs, there's board games, there's comic books. This sounds like a place to go. It's in Amsterdam. I'll stick a link in there. But I want more of this. I want more of these kind of hotels.
Yeah, it's a gamer's paradise. But the thing for me is, I don't know, if I went to a place like this, it might feel that it wasn't different enough from home. Do you know? It's like you go out your door, you go to Amsterdam, and you walk in the gamer's hotel, you walk in your room, and it's like it's just like your room at home.
Do you know where this should be? This should be in Cologne, where Gamescom. That's where it should be, because then you are just thinking, I'm going to go away for a weekend, I'm going to Gamescom, I'm all full on games, and then it'd be just so cool just to kind of chill out after the Gamescom and then just kind of play some more games.
It'd be such a cool idea that, like you got these pop-up shops. Yeah. You could have this pop-up hotel. There's a pop-up gaming hotel, and it just follows the conferences. So you got GDC, you got E3, wherever there is, Cologne, and it's like, right, all of a sudden a little population of gaming hotels up here, and you could just go and stay there.
It would just be fantastic. I mean, like I say, I'll stick a note in. I think it was VG247 had a really good article about this. There's some great photos of Atari consoles. We were talking a couple of weeks ago about the Atari, with the one button.
Oh yeah.
There's
2600 pad.
Yeah,
virtually indestructible pad.
I think I hit my brother a couple of times with it, and it never broke. And so,
did he break?
Yeah, he cried like a baby. It's really cool. There's just some fantastic looking stuff there, and I can't. I'm trying to convince the wife maybe that we should go to Amsterdam for the weekend, but we'll wait and see.
But yeah, if you're going to go there, that's the place to go.
Absolutely. And if anyone's been to that hotel, or if you're going to go, please tweet us at ChessmanUK, at Daz Whitten, or Gamers Lost Spark, or Lost Spark Pod as we're on Twitter, because we'd love to know what the hotel's like.
Yeah, give us a little review, a little wish you were here.
Absolutely.
That'd be well cool, wouldn't it? The next item's with myself, and this is the news that it turns out that there's been an admission and a quote that Microsoft was afraid that Xbox Live Arcade could or would completely destroy the console industry. And it's something that I thought was really interesting, because we've talked about this in the past when we talk about the price of of digital downloads, and how they are more than physical copies.
Yes.
And we've debated the fact that, I'll say my opinion, I think you concur with me, but in my opinion, I think it's because, you see, your bricks and mortar shops, they're the distribution chain for the console. You can't deliver the consoles digitally. So the publishers, your Microsofts, Sonys, have got to keep the bricks and mortar stores, your GameStops, your Game in the UK, they've got to keep them sweet, because they're the ones that distribute the consoles. Without them, you don't get, you haven't got a base, you haven't got a user base. And I have always maintained that I think that's the reason that they keep the digital download prices high, because really they've not got the distribution chain, it should be much lower, but if it was, your bricks and mortar shops would go down, then there'd be no distribution channel for the hardware.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we chatted about that a little bit greater length than that quick synopsis of it in past podcasts, and I think it's right. It just makes sense. But IGN had a chat with Xbox Live Arcade creator Greg Canessa.
Yep.
He stopped by with IGN and had a chat with them, and he revealed that many at Microsoft didn't understand that Xbox Live Arcade offered different types of gaming experiences to your traditional full-price games. So they thought that Xbox Live Arcade was actually going to be that revolution of full games distributed digitally. And remember, this is back in the day, we're talking, 10 years
original
ago.
Xbox, because the first Xbox Live Arcade game was on the original Xbox.
Was XBLA on original Xbox?
Yeah.
Wow, so we're talking many years ago. They thought it was a threat to the console industry. And the quote that we've got here is that there was a legitimate fear that Xbox Live Arcade was going to cannibalise retail sales and completely destroy the console industry. And that's what Canessa said on the latest episode of IGN Unfiltered. And that was actually, he goes on to say, that was a quote he got from one of the internal guys in Microsoft. So our fears or our theories about the reason of why the digital download games have kept that high price point, really I'd say that the proof's in the pudding there. Because even back then they were just like, we don't want to do this.
Yes.
Now, they may be thinking that it would cannibalise the industry because game prices would have to lower. Then maybe they'd have to lower more transparently. Maybe there's a bit more profit than we know about in the physical copies.
Yes.
I'm not so sure if they were straight away thinking about distribution of the consoles, but to be honest, I mean, that's it, isn't it? Because...
Well, suddenly you're taking a game away from GameStop, away from EB as it was then, away from Amazon, all of those people.
Taking the margin away.
You're taking that, I mean that's a fantastic interview. IGN Unfiltered is a great podcast that is just a one-to-one. Ryan McCaffrey. We had an interview with Ryan way back when we started, didn't we?
We did. Thanks, Ryan.
And he was saying then, that IGN Unfiltered, it was his it's just his one-to-one show where he's talked to Phil Spencer, he's talked to some fantastic one. I think he's talked to Schaefer as well, and the Greg Canessa one is a fantastic listen. And they were saying exactly that. It was like he was going there pitching it as these small games, not the big games, but at the start it was these small games, and they were instantly worried about it. They were like,
instantly on the back foot, trying to protect it.
We're going to upset everyone, and it was it was very interesting. Like I say, it's well worth a listen.
Yeah, he gets the insights there on those one-to-one chats.
He really does. He really does. A couple of interesting things that I saw in there. We were talking about it on our last pod about whether that how much the developer gets and whether it's worthwhile pumping for a free game or to be kind of
that sort of gamble between going up for a PS Plus or a Games with Gold game,
exactly,
or taking your chance with will people buy, will people see. The white noise of all those games, will they see my game? Will
exactly.
Will we get some momentum?
The two big things from that interview, I think the first one was that I think it's a 70-30, if my memory's right, it's a 70-30 split, so the developer gets 70% and Microsoft get 30% of every game sale, so which was really cool for Xbox Live Arcade as it was back then. The other thing, which I'm fully backing, is bring back Xbox Live Arcade. Bring it back. Where's that tab on the Xbox One dashboard?
A seal of quality almost.
Yes.
Summer of Arcade as well.
Wednesdays, wasn't it? It was Wednesdays.
Xbox Live Arcade Wednesday.
Yes.
I always look forward to it.
You go there, there was a demo. There was a demo for every game, and it was just... And he's saying he's left Microsoft now about 8 years ago. I think he left Microsoft, but he's just saying, looking at the landscape right now, you need to do it because games just get thrown out at the moment. It's just like suddenly you'll go to Xbox, you'll go to maybe new games. I go there every time I fire up an Xbox to see what's come out, or like and you will see those games. I have no idea what VHS, whatever that game is, and there's no trial, so I can't try it. There was a game that's coming out this week called Reagan Gorbachev, which is supposed to be a bit like Hotline Miami, but set in a Cold War. And I'll say, this sounds fantastic, but I'm not going to spend $12.99 on it. If there was a demo and I liked it, I'll be all over it. We're getting that kind of first play stuff that we're seeing with them. The preview that they've had with a few things, such as that survival game.
Ark.
Yeah, Ark. So you're getting all of that. But we just need demos.
Yeah.
We need demos, we need Xbox Live Wednesdays, we need Summer of Arcade, all of those things. We need those back.
Like bring back those heady days. It's like looking back at Woodstock or something, thinking about that. And it's difficult to be, for me, I find it difficult to be as methodical at going through the games that are available. Like you say, you can't see the wood for the trees in a way. Because there's just a cluster of games, you don't really get much information, you don't get that demo. And I don't know whether it's me and you being of a certain age, okay, because it's as if they sort of tried to replace the concept of the demo with being able to see live streaming and people twitching it.
Yeah.
So it's as if like, well, yeah, we're not giving you a demo, but you can watch someone playing it.
Because you can do that from the game hop, can't you?
Because it's there, so it's so prominent. That's why I thought, are they trying to make that as an equivalent?
Yeah.
But it's not for me. I'd just give me a bit of a demo.
You need a bit of hands-on.
I used to play every demo.
Yeah.
Whether I liked it or not, I'd get the demo, I'd sort of go home and there'd be some new demos. I'd get one, and I'd play every one.
Yep.
And then I'd make a decision on whether I was going to buy it or not.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to make that decision. Yeah, it's okay. It wasn't always that I would buy it. But it was a lot more increased percentage than if I didn't get a demo. Because like you say, you're just looking at all this stuff. It's like, it's too much to think about. I'll just get the things that, through my own channels, through my own feeds, I've heard about, I know that are good. You know, it's difficult to take a punt because time's precious.
Yeah.
So you need some sort of outlet that has said, oh, look, Lovers in a Dangerous Space Time is a fantastic game. I'll have a go at that. I've heard of it. But if they had a demo for everyone, I'd just get the demos. I'd just line the demos up and I'd work through them because I'd be like, I'd be interested to give it a, take a punt. Yeah. But I'm not going to take a punt without any information. And it's great to watch somebody play it, but it's not the same as enjoying it itself.
No, absolutely. You need to know that mechanics because you could see someone jumping for a level, they make it look easy, but then when you go to play it yourself, it's just like, I can't get on with it. Grow Home, is one of them. With you, like you were saying, with the different mechanics. You were saying it's a bit fiddly.
Yeah, it might look great.
It might look super smooth like
watching these geezers in the street that sell that mouse on a string, and it looks like it's alive. And then you get your mum back. I was going back. My mum bought it me.
Wow, this is an old school example.
Like it's just a sock or something. It's like, well, that's not for me. If only, but he wouldn't let me have a go until I bought it. It's restrictive, isn't it?
Absolutely. So no, it's fantastic interview. Really good. Bring that back. Make that mandatory because at the moment the demo is not mandatory, but it's a really good insight into kind of what was XBLA and just this chap and and it's really good, really cool.
Yeah, and just what shaped out the industry as we know it today. So it's good.
So next up is with me, and we've had another one of those Brazilian rating board. It's either Brazilian ratings board or Amazon France, isn't it? That seem to leak all of this stuff.
They don't care, but nothing seems to happen.
They're just flippant with their links. So this one is about BioShock the Collection. Now we've had it, I think about a year ago. It was kind of teased. There was always been the BioShock Vita game that we never got. But the BioShock the Collection has been rated on a Brazilian's rated board. This is giving you. It just says BioShock the Collection. So I'm thinking maybe 1 and 2 with Minerva's Den, potentially. BioShock Infinite maybe, but I think that might be a bit of a. Are we getting to the point where maybe E3 we're going to get an announcement next BioShock game? Because even though Ken Levine left the studio, they said they were making more BioShock games. So are we getting a BioShock 3? Because obviously, BioShock Infinite, different timeline and things like that. Are we going to get a BioShock 3? And then, but they'll bring this out beforehand.
Yeah, I think if they did, I'd want a BioShock that did what Infinite did. Just completely reset.
Yes.
But with some tenuous links to, the universe.
Yes. So BioShock 1, BioShock 2, maybe Minerva's Den, running in 1080p, all nice and shiny. I might dip in, because I really enjoyed both of those games, and I never played Minerva's Den.
Okay. Yeah. You see, I played them, and I'm happy that I played them.
Right.
Well, I didn't play 2 because it was
too
too similar.
Play 2?
No, I didn't play BioShock 2 because it was too similar for me
to
BioShock 1. And I'd enjoyed BioShock 1. I think maybe it came out a little bit too quick for my liking, or I was busy on another game.
Right.
So I didn't bother with it. But I wouldn't jump in. They can HD it, but I think it's a great opportunity for people that weren't around, weren't gaming.
People who missed that generation, people who missed these classics. I mean, BioShock, even let's kind of park 2, but BioShock 1 is a classic game, is a must-play. So there's been no word from 2K yet. They've been tight-lipped because they're probably waiting for E3 to make the announcement and do it properly. So we've got no word from them yet. But, like I say, Brazilian Ratings Board may have spoilt their surprise.
Put their foot in it again.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And while we're on the subject of collections, we've also got an announcement from Capcom.
Right.
And they're going to bring out on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One ports of Resident Evil 4, 5, and 6.
4, 5, and 6.
4, 5, and 6. Yeah.
Wow.
Not as a collection altogether.
Right.
Unfortunately, that'd be pretty cool.
Yes.
Resi 6 is going to come out on the 29th of March, and you're going to get all the additional post-launch DLC with that. So all the costumes, originally only available through ResidentEvil.net, are going to be in there. Resi 5 is going to come out in the summer, and Resident Evil 4 is going to come out in the autumn.
Hold up a second.
They're bringing them out in the wrong order.
They're
going backwards.
Why?
I think why...
Are they all separate? Have you played them?
I gave up after 4.
Right.
Yeah, they changed it on 4, and that was when they made it a more natural game with the overhead camera, and you were sort of controlling the character better. It was less like playing tank.
Rather than stop and shoot.
Yeah, with the sort of asteroids kind of.
That's what you have to do with Resident Evil, isn't it? You have to stop to shoot.
Yeah.
Don't you?
Yeah, stop and turn.
Yeah.
And then... so, for me, 4 I thought was great. I got 4 on the GameCube, which I think is where it originally came out.
Right.
Loved it. I got it on my birthday, actually.
Right.
It was a birthday game.
Oh, yeah, of course it was.
When I was 30, I think it was.
Right.
Anyway, so for me, that was one of the best. It sort of wasn't as scary, but it was a great game. I thought that they'd really honed their craft with that. I thought it was great. And then 5 came out a bit quick, and I played the demo and I didn't like it so much. And then 6, I just read that it was terrible.
Yeah.
So I abandoned it after 4. So I think what they're doing is trying to maybe save the best till last.
Right.
It's the only save the best till last. And maybe there'll be more people that will be interested in getting Resi 4 at Christmas time.
Yeah.
As a little gift. Because if I got that as a stocking for that, I'd be quite happy. Yes. But I wouldn't be happy with 5 or 6.
But I think you're right. I mean, I think what you said at the start, they should just release this as a collection. Because I think you might buy 6 and then be like, well, like you say, maybe the best will last. I mean, I think...
See, that's the thing. The only way to make me look at these would be to lump them in with 4 and give them at a good price. But what they're doing is they're going to sell each one separately at £15.99 a go.
Right.
So it's going to be all about the money,
So about $20 in the US.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, if they stuck them all together, $30.
Yeah.
I'd be more inclined to have a go, and I may have a punt at 5 and 6.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm done. They need to do a new Resident Evil, and it needs to be. I'm thinking it needs to be more like PT, like what Silent Hills was going to be. That for me is the avenue that they need to take with survival horror.
Yeah.
Capcom they invented it with Resident Evil.
Yes.
And it's so tragic. It always makes me sad to see it.
Yeah.
They keep trying to make it more blockbustery, as if it's going down some kind of Call of Duty path. And it's like, no, get back to scaring the heck out of the player.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed the old games, and they can't seem to get back on that track, and I don't know why.
They were just giants, weren't they, at that time? When they were doing Resident Evil, they were doing Dino Crisis.
Oh yeah.
I love Dino Crisis so much.
Yeah.
Bring back Dino Crisis. That's what I say. Give me a HD remake.
Or do to Dino Crisis what they did with Resident Evil 4.
Yeah.
That'd be cool, wouldn't it?
Absolutely.
So there you go.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Next piece, still sticking with that kind of leaked kind of release stuff, is that we've had again from a registered trademark board, but we've had a leak of Alan Wake's Return. So Alan Wake's Return is a game that's been it's being rated at the moment. So this is obviously from Remedy. So they're registering that trademark, which is really interesting. So obviously Quantum Break comes out next month.
Yeah, that's gone gold, hasn't it?
Yeah, that's gone gold.
So Remedy, they've got that out of the way.
Yes.
And
I can't wait for that game. Are you buying that? Are you going for that? You're not sure? I know, because we've had this.
I'm on the fence.
You said no, yeah, you're on the fence.
So. Oh, I said it would never get out by April, didn't I?
Yes.
So I stand corrected.
Yes, you owe me a beer.
I do owe you a beer.
So anyway, I mean, with Quantum Break, if you pre-order Quantum Break from people like Game, Amazon, or also from Xbox Live, you're getting Alan Wake. You're getting Alan Wake, American Nightmare. You're getting the DLC, which is the writer, and another one as well. So you're getting those.
That's all backwards compatibility, isn't it? You don't get physical.
That's all thanks to that awesome backwards compatibility.
That's such a great marketing tool.
It really is.
Such a great marketing. And also, if you pre-order it on the Xbox One, you get a copy on PC, don't you? You get a code for
of course,
Universal over on Windows 10.
Talk about that because a lot of people were annoyed about that last week. So we've got that. But Alan Wake's Return has been registered as a trademark. So maybe now that Remedy have got Quantum Break out of the way, that they're now going to be looking at Alan Wake as the next game. I'm very excited, super excited about this. I'm probably going to actually digital download Quantum Break just because I never played American Nightmare. It came at that point. There was a games coming out. Never got to play American Nightmare. Loved Alan Wake so much. You know, the whole kind of Duracell battery thing. But you know, it was just such a great game, such a great mechanic. Really enjoyed it. Never got to play American Nightmare, so I think I might kind of make a punt for that over the weekend, actually.
Yeah, why not? It was a bit Silent Hill, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Alan Wake. It was a bit Silent Hill, wasn't it? In that way, that you're in the dark. You know, you had the torch and the field of view and stuff. Yeah. And that if Alan Wake Returns could be what I expected Alan Wake to be.
Yes.
It could be really good.
It could be really.
And it got a really great reception. It's a great game.
Yeah.
Lots of people enjoyed it.
It was fantastic. Again, XBLA. XBLA, that great title from XBLA.
Great
so yeah, you're right. Quantum Break went gold. Sam Lake did a quick video, didn't he? Kind of sitting on a large bottle of champagne or holding a large bottle of champagne, sitting on something. He's the face of Max Payne, isn't he? They kind of mapped Max Payne because it was so funny. It was like I saw this YouTube. It was on Twitter, so it was like auto playing on my Twitter feed. Suddenly I saw like not Alan Wake, Max Payne
popping up.
It's gone gold. I was like, hold on a second, but no, Sam Lake. So great. I can't wait for that. I'm very excited.
Yeah, it's good to be excited. And the next thing is simply Hideo Kojima had a little chat with GameSpot.
Right.
And Kotaku picked up on 5 things that they learned about Kojima, and they listed them. So I just thought it'd be interesting to share it.
What about his new game?
All about Kojima.
Right.
About his new game, about his beard.
Yes.
About all sorts. You excited?
He's as crazy as a bag of cats up there.
He is. Well, he always looks cool.
Right.
Even when he's in VR, he still looks cool. He's a cool guy.
I'm liking the beard that he's got at the moment.
You like the beard?
I like the beard. I'm very much pro Kojima beard.
Pro Kojima beard. PKB. #. Right, so yeah, the things are, his new game is big. It's big, and it's got lots of freedom.
Right.
That's all right. Well, we're used to that, aren't we?
Check.
Metal Gear was like that.
Superb.
He wants to do something that gives a lot of freedom and interactivity, like he's done in the past. He wants to make something that's got a very strong dramatic story. Now, I'm all for that, because I love strong dramatic stories. But I could also almost do with it being a little less Kojima.
Right.
And a little more sense.
Yes.
Just a little bit. I do like all these fantastical things, but I lose my way with Metal Gear.
But maybe now that he's out of the Metal Gear constraint, the Metal Gear template, he can be a bit less Kojima.
He's out of that cocoon.
Yeah, maybe he just
maybe that wasn't Kojima.
Yeah,
maybe it was a bit of Kojima.
Wild weekend once. They went down this rabbit hole with the story, and now he had to do that every time. So now he's just sitting there going, "What could be crazy?"
He was just sort of following the footprints in the sand, and the tangents kept going. So I can't wait to see what he's going to do.
Yes.
And he also says that, contrary to popular opinion or Konami's opinion, he does keep his word about game budgets.
Oh, okay, interesting.
So, there's been a lot of rumour and speculation about what happened with Metal Gear. Money just hemorrhaging out everywhere.
Yeah.
But he says that a lot of people says that he spends too much money or takes too much time, but that's a misconception.
Right.
His last project was late by about 5 or 6 months, but I've always kept my word on timelines and budgets, he says. And 5 or 6 months late, that's not the end of the world in the industry. It's not too bad. Number 3, his new game could expand into anime. So he wants to make something that's going to have a big enough impact to become a series.
Please.
A cel-shaded anime.
Yes.
Like Akira or something.
Oh.
That'd be cool, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
So that's really interesting. Sony isn't trying to control him.
Oh. Can't control Kojima.
You can't control Kojima. I didn't think Sony was controlling him. I haven't read anything about people.
You're never going to. I mean, when he was probably being bound, when all those studios come running after him, once he got, let go from Konami, one of the probably stipulations was, he does his own thing. He gives you the game when you get the game.
Yeah.
If you're Sony, don't market the game until you've got it in your hand. That sort of stuff. And I would never have thought that Sony were trying to control him.
No. I think maybe.
So did someone ask that question? Did Kotaku
it's
ask
part of the
question,
interview.
Right,
From GameSpot.
And people are going to, aren't they? Because of what's happened with Konami, they're going to think that he's being oppressed, and he has that. I mean, by listening to the 3 things you just said there, I don't think he's as maverick as people kind of make out. Maybe.
Maybe not. Maybe it's all just sort of just news.
Yes.
Just noise. And the 5th thing about Kojima is that his kids totally hate his beard.
Oh, damn you, Kojima kids.
Yeah. So Anthony likes it. I'm undecided.
You're undecided? I think he looks a dude.
He does look a dude. He looks a dude without it, though.
And he got a Lifetime Achievement Award as well, didn't he?
Yeah.
At DICE.
Yeah, that's
so,
right.
Yeah, got that. Him and Del Toro were up talking about how each other's artwork has affected, each other's art has affected the other person. I think Kojima had eyes on his head.
Like the child catcher, whatever it is from Pan's Labyrinth. He did that, didn't he? Yeah, it was well cool. And he said that him and Del Toro, they sing together on karaoke.
Do they?
in their own respective languages, but it's all right because
I want to be there when he's belting out David Bowie, man who sold the world.
Oh yeah, man who sold his soul to Sony.
Yes, a man who sold his soul to Sony. Right, so next piece of news is with me. We always like to do the free games that are coming out on both Games with Gold and also PlayStation Network. They're up and available, or well, not available just yet because it's not March just yet, but they're up. So what we're doing is on Games with Gold, so over on Xbox, we have got from March the 1st to 31st, we've got Crime and Punishment, Sherlock Holmes. From March 16th to April 15th, we have got Lords of Fallen, which I'm quite interested in.
Yeah, that's good, that.
I think I've seen that game and thought, that's interesting.
That's sort of, like a proper game.
It is, it is.
That's not, we're not messing about there.
No.
That's a proper game that probably should have sold a bit better than it did.
Yes. I got confused. When I first saw it, I thought it was Shadows of Mordor and got very excited because that's a game I would definitely play if it was free.
I'm surprised this has come before Rise.
Yeah.
I thought the first game that would get on there would be Rise.
Still holding on to it. It must be selling. It must be selling in order to not make the Games with Gold, surely. So, and then next up on the Xbox 360, don't forget all of these are compatible with Xbox One, with a backwards compatibility. We've got Supreme Commander 2, which is a RTS, real-time strategy game, which is a big favourite in my house. Nicola loves the Supreme Commando. She loved all of the Command and Conquers, Halo Wars, all of that
Does it work well with the pad control?
Yeah, it works really well. It works really... I'm surprised. I mean, I know they're saying that RTS doesn't work on a pad, but, I've seen Nicola kind of play these games. I played Halo Wars, played some Command and Conquer as well.
I found the way that they did the interface was always fine.
It's really good, really good. But Supreme Commander 2 was very cool, very cool. And then last up, so that's from March 1st to March 15th. Last up on Xbox One, playable on, Xbox 360, playable on Xbox One via backwards compatibility, is Borderlands. So that awesome game, Borderlands, which is from the 16th of March to the 31st of March.
Wow, well, those dates, why can't you just say, right,
you're just going to get those from that.
Borderlands is a great game. Somebody that didn't get involved in or missed Borderlands, that's great. I mean, you could hours and hours and hours and hours of fun there.
Absolutely. You've got Borderlands and backwards compatibility. You've also got the Handsome Jack collection, which is on Xbox One. You could probably, you play that as well. You could get through so much fun on all of these.
I love Borderlands. I didn't play Borderlands 2,
right.
but I loved Borderlands. Played it.
I always think the Borderlands and the pre-sequel, I played the pre-sequel when it came to the Handsome Jack collection on Xbox One.
Yeah.
I always find that those games are better if you play co-op.
Yeah.
I don't think kind of a solo Borderlands might be a bit
I don't know. I mean, I think you're probably right there, but I played it on my own. I loved it.
Oh, okay.
I
Super.
loved it.
So, over on PlayStation Plus, not maybe as interesting as Xbox this one. So, we've got Broforce. So Broforce was the one that won that vote. They had the vote again.
I was going to say about the vote.
Did you vote for it?
I got the email about the voting. It's like, we can vote. It's back again. We can all vote to play.
Yes.
And I just looked at the array and I just thought, if you want me to vote, give me something to vote for.
Yes.
I'm not interested in voting for any of these. Did you vote? I didn't vote.
I voted for Broforce.
Did you?
Yeah,
what made you vote for it?
Just because it looked cool. It was like kind of, they were like Rambo. It was like 80s style, chunky kind of graphics. And out of the three, it was the one that I kind of wanted to kind of play. I think the others are available. Don't know what they are. That's how good they were. The others will be available 30% off, I think, that you get because they were that choice. So we've got Broforce on PlayStation 4. We've also got Galaxy as well, which is another. We've got Super Stardust HD on PlayStation 3. We've got The Last Guy. I'm not sure what that is. We've got Flame Over on PlayStation Vita, which is a roguelike torch 'em up where you play a fireman and you've got to put out fires in apartments and
that
things
sounds
like
quite
that.
good. I wonder if he's going to use the touchy.
Maybe on the touch screen, maybe just kind of And then wrapping it up is we have Reality Fighters as well. And Reality Fighters is that AR game where you're playing as like fighters in a ring, but you can see your surroundings. So I'll be able to see my train.
Yeah.
Maybe just
I had one on Xbox that used to connect.
Right.
I always ended up like kicking a vase over, something like that.
Super.
The thing I'm a bit puzzled with the PlayStation lineup, Super Stardust HD. PS3. Now there is a PS4 version of that.
There is. When I saw it, I thought, crossplay.
And I love that game.
Yeah.
But it says only PS3, so I'm disappointed.
Yeah. Normally, from the PlayStation vlog, if they are crossplay, it would normally says like slash.
So I was disappointed because I like the game. But you know.
No, absolutely. Like I say, it seems to be, you know, great lineup from Xbox. You know, some interesting titles to play. PlayStation, not so much. Like I say, we'll download Broforce, have a quick look.
I mean,
at
for
that.
you know, on PS, you get
They're
all over
free,
the PS
so we
platform,
can't-
you get 6 games.
Yes.
You can't really grumble about it. But
No.
yeah, Xbox wins this month.
Yeah, absolutely.
March, I should say.
So that's our free games. That's the 3 games that we've got from both Games of Gold and PlayStation Plus. So with that, it's time to head over to the VR News Desk for the latest in VR news.
Well, here we are at the VR desk, and now because
This is it.
because we're in glorious HD video, we don't need to really talk about it because we've been at the VR desk all day.
Yeah, we haven't got our smoking jackets on.
We haven't got the smoking jackets on.
James, we need that one back as well.
Yeah, stop it. So
Superb.
yeah, here we are at the VR desk, and yeah, it's been an interesting week in
Yes.
VR, hasn't it?
I've been waiting for this all week to just try to chat to you about the big one, the big announcement. Now, we are 3 days away from the 29th.
Are we
Saturday,
really?
Sunday, Monday.
Oh, we are.
We're filming this on Friday.
We
in
are.
case you didn't know.
I
Saturday,
didn't
Sunday, Monday. 3 days, the 29th.
Wow. So the big news is HTC Vive.
Go for it.
The price is out there. HTC Vive price has been released, and it's going to cost $799.
Woo!
Whoa. Pre-order from February the 29th, which is Monday. Ships April the 1st. That's when it's released. So that was the price. What did you think about the price? I got the impression you were a bit shocked.
I was a bit shocked, but then I did kind of think, I sent it over to you. It was quite funny because you were, it was Sunday when they got the leak, and I sent it over to you, what do you think? And I was waiting for your reply. I mean, I think we said it previously on the podcast that we underestimated how expensive these things were going to be. Everybody did. You know, when you look at news sites, I think a lot of people thought these things were going to be £300. Your tweet back to kind of James Manny, where we were having a chat about this, was spot on. You know, this is a premium piece of content. You know, you're not only getting the HTC Vive, you're getting the controllers, you're getting those motion sensors. If you really think about it, $800 is kind of what you expect to pay for that.
It's kind of right. I was a bit shocked initially, but then I thought, you know, out of them all, we sort of know that PSVR is going to be the cheapest.
Yeah.
And probably be the least capable, but still good.
Yeah.
So these are the big 3 that are going to give you the most premium experience. You've got these 3. So Sony's version is going to be the cheapest, maybe not the worst. It's, from what I read, it does some pretty wizzy stuff, so it's going to be cool.
Yeah.
But it's going to be the most competitive price point.
Yes.
Now, we had the price for Oculus
Yep.
at £499, or I think it's about $599,
Right.
around about that. So we got that released, didn't we, a month or
Yes.
so ago? And
Yes.
so that gave us an indication, and we always knew that Vive was going to be more.
Yes.
And I was guessing that it'd be about £100 more,
Right.
which would take it from 400. So I was probably expecting £600.
Yeah.
That's what I was expecting. And as usual, he's coming at a higher price point than that. Now, Mashable.com is reporting that the British price is $689
Right.
in pounds, so it's £200 more. Sorry,
Right.
let's say £200 more than the Oculus. Now, well, I think it's like $200 more than the Oculus as well for our friends over the pond. So I was thinking about this, but yeah, you get the lighthouses and you get these controllers. Now,
Yes.
Oculus Touch, which is their name for their sort of immersion controllers, Oculus doesn't ship with those.
No.
They're not released yet.
No, it ships with an Xbox controller,
It
doesn't it?
ships with an Xbox pad.
Yep.
But from everything I've read,
Yeah.
really, playing on a pad's great, you know, like it's
Yeah,
doodly-doo.
yeah.
But to get you true immersion, you want to be in there, you know, getting involved.
Yeah.
And you can't do that without without the bespoke controllers.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, you know, these controllers, when they're released, I reckon they're going to be about £100.
Yeah.
So instantly it
Or
put prices.
$100, £70, maybe.
No, I think £100
Oh,
to
really?
$150.
Right.
I was just
Again,
guessing.
cutting edge tech.
Putting edge tech.
Yeah.
Palmer Luckey went on record and said at time of release, he said if we released the Oculus with the controllers with Oculus Touch, it would make the price prohibitive.
Right.
And when you take that into account, when you say, right, so Oculus Plus, you're really going to want these.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, it's not a choice. If you want VR, you want it for the experience, you're going to have to get it.
Yeah.
It brings it in tandem, I think, with the Vive.
And the great thing about the Vive shipping with those and those is that what they're called?
Yeah,
Lighthouses?
Lighthouse base stations,
Right.
I think is
The great thing about shipping with that is that they know everybody who buys a HTC Vive has that equipment. So all of the games can use that rather than do you have it, don't you have it, which I guess is what you're getting at Oculus.
Yeah, but then there's going to be, I think there's going to be some sort of cross-play between games that you're going to be able to play.
Right.
That are out for Oculus, you play on Vive,
Yeah.
but you won't be able to play so much. Well, you may be able to play them, but a very much constrained degree of the experience.
Yes.
The full room experience of Vive won't really translate over to Oculus.
Right.
But there's nothing to say that Oculus won't add something similar, a similar system at a later date.
Yeah.
It's got sensors all over it.
Yeah.
I'm sure they're working away.
Right.
On their own sort of real space.
Yes.
Technology as we speak, and this is the thing, isn't it? You're going to back a horse. Who knows who's going to come out? They've got the millions of Facebook behind them.
Yeah, absolutely.
But also, Oculus isn't going to follow as much of an open source model because of the Facebook integration and stuff like that. As perhaps Vive is. But yeah, so I was thinking about it, and at first I was shocked because it's all the more I have to spend on Vive because I haven't got the PC to run it.
Yeah.
So it's a double whammy for me. It's like I'm really committed to getting it.
Yeah.
But I've got to get the PC as well. So the more Vive is, the less off the PC.
Yes.
But you need the PC to be able to run the Vive well. And I was like, oh my goodness me.
What do you think of a PC? £1,000?
Yeah.
Spec to run that?
I think what we're saying is £700 for the Vive.
Well, Manny did a test on his PC, didn't he? And he was he okay?
He was more than okay.
Oh right.
He was,
he was at Uber. I mean, he's the one who sent me the 4K stream of Lara Croft Tomb Raider.
Yeah. So Valve VR, if you go to Steam, you can run a test on your PC.
Yes.
And it will basically do a benchmark test, tell you if you're VR ready or not. So our friend Manny, he ran his test and published the result, and he was high. He got a green line. And he had, what did he have? He had an i5, 24 gig of RAM. But the key thing he had was a really hot graphics card. He has an NVIDIA GTX 980 Ti. Now they say the recommended minimum is a GTX 970 card, which you probably get, I think, for about £300, £400. I might be wrong there. I'm not too au fait yet with this world, which I will be soon.
You've got 3 days. Well, I guess you haven't, because you
I
can
haven't,
just
because I'm going to pre-order it, and then I'm going to build it ready for date.
When's it come out?
1st of April.
Right.
So
April Fool's Day.
April Fool's.
I'm going to be joking you all the time. I'll be like, hello, this is Vive.
We haven't got your order. I'm moving house as well, so it's like, where am I going to get it delivered to?
Tony, stop it.
So it's an expensive piece of kit, but they're not aiming it at the consumer market, really. They're aiming it at people like us, early adopters.
Yes.
They're not expecting a mass take-up on it. They're expecting the enthusiasts and the early adopters that are really passionate about that experience to get involved. Part of me, there's a small part of me when I saw the price and I was like, oh man, I'm being a mug. Because what if it's rubbish? I've early adopted rubbish before.
Yeah.
You know, Philips CDI, I'm looking at you, Atari Jaguar, and they were a lot of money back in the day. I had less
DVD.
HD DVD I got.
I bought one of those, you know, the little white add-on to your Xbox 360.
Yeah, with King Kong free.
Yeah. That was probably really good. I think I had that and Superman Returns. Superman Returns is such a bad movie.
Wow. So I've made mistakes, and it's like, but I think one of these will prevail. So I've gone through the process, and I'm going to get it.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to get it.
Yeah.
But key to the PC, I think, is a 980 Ti. Now they're bringing out, NVIDIA, I think it is. They're bringing out. There's a new graphics card coming out. It's going to be better. It's got a lot of refinements in it. It's called Pascal.
Right.
And these new wave of graphics cards, I think, are going to take more into account about VR and what VR needs, and they're going to be they're going to work better for that and be more refined for that. So part of me just wishes that the whole thing was delayed until these cards hit, or that these cards hit earlier.
Well, the great thing about having a PC is not like buying a PlayStation and then a different, better PlayStation comes out. With a PC, you'll be able to swap out that, and you can always sell your premium product on eBay to get some cash back.
And they don't lose too much value, because I've looked on eBay for like GTX 980 Ti's, and they hold their value. They're expensive. If 400, 500 quid graphics card.
That's running 4K, has no problem with that. You could happily sit on that for like 6 months, couldn't you?
Well, this is the strange thing, and this is where I had a PC for ages.
Whole new world for
round Half-Life 2,
yeah.
I was a PC guy, and I got a graphics card pretty much for that game, so that game cost me about 500 quid.
Right.
And then with the advent of the HD consoles, I left the fold because I thought, this is insane. For the price of one graphics card, I can have a whole console.
Yeah.
And now I've come back, I'm so passionate and enthusiastic about VR now, it's got me more sold on the PC version. I'm starting to justify it that, you know, with the PC, it's like, we need a PC.
Yep.
My laptop's getting old.
Yep.
We do need a PC, you need one for school. You know, all these things that you justify.
You have a justification. You're starting putting a
business plan.
You're filling out the pros to submit to Claire.
Exactly. I've got to put my business case forward to Claire. So it's a do, but I'm sort of thinking 700 quid for Vive. Leaves 1,300 quid for your PC.
Yes.
And you know, you can spend what you want on a PC. Spend £5,000. You can spend whatever you want on a PC. I think 1,300. I think you could do it for. I think you could do it for £800.
Right. So you don't need to worry about a screen because you'll just plug it into your projector.
Yeah. Yeah, and I've got a monitor anyway, so I don't
Yes.
need to worry about screen. Projector, and yeah, I mean, you could just get, if you were buying one just for VR, which would probably be quite,
Of course,
quite foolish.
the moment you
You've
buy
got
a
your
PC,
screen in there.
yeah, the moment you buy a PC, which is capable of running 4K, you're probably going to want a 4K monitor, so you can see like all of those stunning, gorgeous 4K shiny graphics.
Yeah, I'm going to hold back though because I'm waiting for a 4K projector.
Right.
And they haven't fallen to the price I'm willing to pay
Yes,
yet,
yeah.
which people would probably say I'm insane about, because if I'm willing to buy 5, it's like get a 4K projector instead. But
Superb.
yeah, so that's the price.
Right, so when are pre-orders going live?
Monday, the 29th of February, leap into VR
Right.
on leap year day.
3 o'clock.
3 o'clock our time, 3 o'clock GMT, which I think, I forget what it is over the pond.
Right. I'm working from home that day, so I won't annoy you because you're obviously just going to be focused on one page. But don't
gonna
forget,
be pressing F5.
don't forget that when the Oculus pre-orders went available, the site was chugging. It went a bit slow, but I think it did refresh.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a bit of I can't see any website kind of being smooth. So hang in there.
Yeah.
Like
So
that cat, just kind of hang in.
are you going to jump in with me? Make me feel better.
No, I think I mean, as much as I love to, as I said to you in the previous podcast, I'm just about to. I got an email from my friends that just had popcorn to say that the Sony TVs are on their way. They're going to be coming, I think, the first couple of weeks of March. So I've got that brand new HDR TV. I've got Sky Q coming next week, which I can't wait.
Yeah.
Got Sky Q coming next week, and then so I think, and again, I think where I'm going to go is PlayStation VR.
Yeah.
I think I'm going for
Sensible
PlayStation
option.
VR. I think we've got a news story that we're about 2-3 weeks away from a PlayStation VR announcement event, and I'm thinking that there's no way that Sony can charge more for the PSVR headset than they do for the console.
They've always maintained that it would be about the price of the console.
Exactly. They can't go more. So if you're a brand new early adopter, you will be able to buy a PlayStation 4 and a PSVR for probably the price of the Oculus kit. So I think for me, just because I want to test the water, just because I want to play those games, I want to just jump in there. I think I'm going to jump in with PlayStation VR.
Yeah.
But I'm going to be here. For when you get your Vive.
Yeah. And you'll see either an elated face.
Yes.
From everything I've read, though, people are elated. It's amazing.
It looks incredible.
Or I'll be like, after 5 minutes, it's like, oh.
But did you see? I think I emailed you a link that there is an event happening. There's an event happening in London in a couple of weeks' time where they have HTC Vives there. I'm going to Resd. I'm going to do it in April at Somerset House. I'm hoping there's going to be some stuff there. Obviously, you probably already have it. I'll probably come from your house to Resd because you'll be here.
And you'll know the score. You'll be like, yeah, I tried it.
I want it. I'm sure once I put that on my face, I'm going to want it.
We'll see. I hope this is where I'm invested. I feel a bit crazy because I haven't tried it, because it's like gold dust to try the experience.
Yes.
So it's it's a big investment in an idea, in an experience, in the future. But I'm a passionate enough gamer, an enthusiast.
Yes.
To give it a punt. I'm pretty convinced. I wouldn't be doing this unless I was.
I mean, we've got a VR news desk because of your passion, because of your drive for VR, and I think you have to do one of them.
You've got to follow your heart sometimes.
I'm definitely all in.
It's a shame it's so expensive.
I'm all in for PlayStation VR. The moment they give a release date, the moment there's a pre-order, I'm there day one.
Yeah.
I don't care what games they've got, just the experience I'm after.
Yeah.
I'm all in.
And this is the thing, I'm more about the experiences. I'm not looking at it that I'm going to play some blockbuster games. It's more about immersion.
Yeah.
And what the technology can do and where we've come from.
Yeah, yeah.
Because, being our age, I said this before, but we've seen the gaming evolve from like the Atari 2600, the old machines.
Yep.
And to imagine that you can have this illusion that tricks your own brain into thinking that you're anywhere that your imagination or the developers' imaginations can give you. It's just truly amazing.
Like I say, I can't wait. Games like Firewatch, games like Everyone's Gone to the Rapture, which we've already talked about in the pod. Those, I want to play those. I want to play those in VR. I'm all in. But because of the other tech that I'm purchasing, PlayStation VR is, and the only reason I'm not buying a HTC Vive is because I want that big TV.
Well, the thing is, at least you're getting something.
Yeah.
Because you're getting stuff, I feel better.
Yes.
If you were like not getting anything and all frugal, I'd be like, oh no.
Oh, no.
But because you're still consuming, it eases my guilt. It eases my guilt.
The last thing I have is frugal. And that is, my wife kills me with the stuff. But, if I wasn't buying a new TV, if I wasn't buying all of the other stuff, I would definitely be full on. But, like I say, it's the whole kind of gaming PC. I kind of want I'm just not sure about that. I mean, I want it. I want the 4K stuff, especially if I've got the new TV. I want to be able to plug.
I'll be the guinea pig. I'll be the guinea pig, man.
You know, Manny's showing me some stuff that I'm just like, I want that. You know, Firewatch would have been amazing. You know, I played it on ultra mode on my MacBook Pro, but I couldn't move because it was like, you know, the frame rate was so choppy. But it looks stunning.
And this is what I've started to think about. I can open up into that 4K universe, in the mods and things like that. So there's good things that the PC can do.
Absolutely. I fully back. I don't know if that means anything.
You endorse me?
I fully endorse your vibe, and I will be here.
Fantastic. And you know, maybe we'll do an unboxing video for the viewers.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'll certainly be reporting, and so will you, because we'll share the experience, and we'll be able to tell you at my cost if it's worth it. So that'll be really interesting.
So have we got any more VR news?
Yeah, we have. So Mark Zuckerberg stood up recently at an event. Samsung's MWC 2016 event, in fact, to talk about VR. And he said a lot of things about VR being really good and stuff in Oculus. But the main takeaway for me and you anyway is that Minecraft is coming to VR, which we always expected. The interesting thing was that when Facebook bought Oculus, I don't know if you remember, but Marcus Persson, the creator of Minecraft, withdrew making it for VR.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he said, I'm not going to do it, then I don't agree with that business model, I don't like that, I'm not doing it, but now it doesn't matter because
he's sold it off to Microsoft.
He did. So that's interesting, and Minecraft coming to VR is great. I'm hoping that it'll come to Vive.
Yeah.
Because they might just keep it on Oculus.
Yes, because Oculus, there's a kind of Xbox. There's
a link there, isn't there? Because they're giving the pad away, and you've got that universality.
Yeah. That's really interesting. Did you see the clip of Mark Zuckerberg going onto the stage
past all the VR people?
Yeah, past it. I mean, I was just like, that's what it's going to be like.
Yeah.
E3.
That was like the Matrix.
E3
you know where they're all in the pods in the Matrix, but it's like that. But they were all just like got these things on the
spaceship in Wally. You know, E3 2020. That's what it's going to look like. Everyone will just be that's what it's like.
Half-Life 2 face huggers.
Actually, if you think about that, wow! You imagine like an E3 in about 4 years' time, where you'll be able to strap on your PlayStation VR and you'll be in the audience.
Wow, that'll happen.
So
Microsoft needs to sort it out because PlayStation will be like, put your PSVR on. Microsoft needs something so they can do that.
Put your PlayStation VR on now.
It's all
and then they'll be like, do. Well, everyone's waiting to adjust. That's the kind of on hold music.
I like that music.
Yeah. And so, talking about PlayStation VR, nice segue, we have got a couple of announcements on PlayStation VR. The first one is that GameStop CEO announced, was it at a talk or during an interview, Paul Raines said that at a Fox Business interview, he said that PlayStation VR, they already started to purchase the boxes, or they're kind of issuing that intent to purchase, and that it's going to be coming out full.
Yeah, he did. He made it. I don't know whether it was a slip. I mean, he
then got shot by Sony.
Yeah, he was just telling it how it is as far as he's concerned. But yeah, Fox Business interviewed him, Paul Raines, and the quote is that he said, "We will launch the Sony product this fall, and we are in discussions with the other two players."
Right.
He didn't use the actual name,
but
it was the context, the way he was speaking. It was obvious that he was talking about PSVR.
Yes.
So the interesting thing about it is we've all been led to believe that PSVR is going to launch first half of 2016.
With No Man's Sky.
Obviously fall.
Yeah.
We're talking like Q4.
Yep.
So that's a huge shift. Is it a bad thing? I don't think it necessarily is, because they're going to let the big hitters, you know, Oculus and Vive, hit, see the reception, sit back. It's not a comparable market either, so there's no rush for them.
Yeah. Give your bank balance time to recover so you can buy a PlayStation
VR. And refine it, and then bring it out. So I'm expecting an announcement that...
Obviously, because I'm plumping with PlayStation VR, I'm a bit annoyed, a bit miffed, because I want it sooner. I want it in April. I want it now. We're going to know more. Invites went out to US Games Press this week. Invites went out the 15th of March during GDC, which we said previously, which was kind of where they're going to talk about it more. There's a PlayStation VR event happening. It's on, like I say, the 15th of March in San Francisco, right at the start, right in the middle of GDC. It's going to start about 2 p.m. Pacific time, which is about 10 o'clock GMT. They're not live streaming it, so maybe the entire audience are going to be in VR. You imagine that, under your seat. They'll probably do something like that they did the other day, which is like, here's one free. You can take it home. But That's going to be happening on March 15th, so we're going to know a lot more about PlayStation VR after that. So only a few weeks to wait. So it's going to be a good month for VR, really. You know, 29th, you're pre-ordering your HTC Vive. A couple of weeks later, we know more about PlayStation VR.
Yeah, and I think it's going to hit the sort of end of the year. And if it does so what, I wonder if PSVR development is the catalyst here, or if No Man's Sky or the games that they're delivering has caused the delay.
Yes.
Maybe the games aren't quite there yet, so I wonder if the games are delayed the hardware, or if the hardware's delayed. I'm not sure which.
Yeah, no, it's an interesting one.
It is. And finally, we have some more PSVR.
Right.
News. So, Dr. Richard Marks, who's the head of Magic Labs, sort of the driving force behind PSVR. Is it not the same guy?
No.
He didn't sing Hazard and then migrate into VR.
You mentioned that. I was going to say he's got a gold album, and now he's doing this.
He did that. I conquered the music industry, and now I'm going to do this.
Next up, virtual reality.
Yeah, so they had a seminar, and he talked for 30 minutes about PSVR.
Yeah.
And the video's now up, so we'll put a link to that video in our show notes.
Yeah.
Really interesting video, and he comes up with some interesting facts about the PlayStation VR technology. The best one, I think, is that for a start, you've got the install base. So 32 million PS4s are already out there, and people like that.
Yep.
People are going to develop like that because it's already there. But the main thing about it, because it's a console, it's a fixed system.
Yep.
Now, with the PCs, you've got all different configurations with PCs. So the developers and the kit that you're bringing out for Vive and Oculus for PCs has got to take into account all this sort of wriggle room that you've got with all the different configurations of PCs.
Yes.
And a really interesting point that he came out with was that because it's fixed hardware, it's a fixed spec for the console, it actually performs at 60%. If you had a PC that was the same spec as the PlayStation 4, the PS4, because it's a fixed system, can perform at 60% more.
Wow.
Than a comparable PC.
Wow, that's really cool.
So yeah, that was really interesting. So when people say, oh yeah, you know, how can VR be delivered on a PlayStation when the specs don't work?
Yeah.
This is why.
We say quit your jibber jabber.
Yeah, quit your jibber jabber, because we can eke out more because it's a closed system.
Yeah.
And it's designed specifically for one thing,
yeah.
which PCs aren't. There's more of a hardware abstraction layer, if you like, a bit geeky. And he also said that there's a reprojection filter that they had on there, and what they're going to do is they had that as an option on or off.
Right.
And what that does is it sort of steadies when you walk around. It sort of interlaces frames to make it more smooth when you're looking around.
Got you.
Now they had an option of that off or on. But it's always going to be on because basically there's no drawback to having that reprojection on all the time. And I thought that was really cool.
That's really
so you're
cool.
always going to have that, and there's no real overhead.
Right.
So there's no reason not to have it. The third thing, and the final thing that I'll mention on the podcast, the rest on the video is really worth a watch, is the little box.
Right.
Now remember that there's a little box that we're going to get. Excuse me, my illness is coming back to haunt me. So we've got the little box that we thought was going to do some of the heavy work.
Yep.
And the rendering of VR to the HMD, the head-mounted device.
Yes.
Well, it's not. He said, I'd just like to sort this rumour out. He said it was reported wrong initially.
Yes.
I think it was the same conference last year when they talked about it, and he said it was misreported. He said what it's doing is essentially they have, and I think this is a great idea as well, and I'm hoping that Vive will support this in Oculus. They talk a lot about having a social screen.
Right.
They don't want VR to be looked at as being very insular and alone, because it could easily be construed that way. So they say because they've already got the PlayStation, when you're playing a game, it's out there. It's in the lounge the same, which it is for me. It's in the family area. So they're going to output whatever you're doing. You're going to have your person on PSVR, but they're also going to show it on the screen. But it's not necessarily their view. It can be a selection of different views.
Could be something else.
Could be the map of whatever they're doing.
Yes.
Could be this, could be that.
Like that game that I can never get right, you know, keep talking, no one dies,
explodes.
Yeah,
the explosion one. I can't remember that.
Sorry, James.
But yeah, so you know, you wouldn't necessarily see their perspective, but you could see the bomb on the wall.
Yes.
And maybe just their hands, but you wouldn't see it from the exact perspective they got. So he's talking a lot about having gatherings round, like playing that game, and the one person's doing that, and then the other people are looking at the social screen. And so obviously this is like, well, it's also got video out to the HMD itself.
Yes.
So the box primarily is a splitter.
Yep.
So you go from the PS4 into this box. What it does is it then couples out into two HDMIs. one to the TV,
Yeah.
one to your PSVR.
Gotcha.
So you've got 2 videos, it does that. But what it also does, the PS4, not the box, is doing the heavy work for your VR.
Yeah.
But what this does is it sort of unpicks what's being routed to the headset
Right.
and makes it in a viewable format for the social screen.
Fantastic.
So that's what it's doing.
Right.
It does do a little bit of other stuff. And he also mentioned that they got 3D audio built into the PSVR. Now with the other Oculus and Vive, you sort of buy some headphones. It looks like this is integrated into PSVR.
Right.
And they've been working a lot with spatial awareness and sound and how that works within the VR space.
Wow.
And he said that, for instance, on tests they'd have a demo and they'd make a noise at one point, and everybody without fail just turned around and pointed and looked at that point.
Wow.
And that was the power of
Nice.
the sound within
Yeah.
it.
So is that going to be headphones that comes off of the device?
I think
or
within
is
it,
just
I think it sort of comes
speakers?
over. I think, I don't know.
Right.
I don't know.
That's really interesting. That's really interesting.
Yeah. And so really worth a watch. As I say, we'll put that link in the notes. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the VR desk.
Fantastic, fantastic. Well, that's about it. So that's about it for this episode. So again, thank you very much for listening / watching. Don't forget, you can see this on YouTube and you can find a link on our site. Also, a big thank you to Globegig Media for making this transition to glorious HD video happen.
Yay,
and you get to see us, the Sparks. Don't forget, you can keep up with us at gamersoftheLostSpark.com. You can also find us on Twitter, on Facebook. On Twitter, we're Lost Spark Pod. You can find us on YouTube, where this is going to be posted, and also on our PlayStation 4 Gamers of Lost Spark community. Darren, where can we find you online?
Yeah, you can find me as Wythelmater on PS4, Xbox One and Twitch, Dazagamer on YouTube, and at DazWhittam on Twitter.
For me, I'm Chessman on Xbox Live, I'm PS-Chessman on the PlayStation Network, and I'm at Chessman UK on Twitter. Don't forget, if you have any feedback, please send it to our email address. That's feedback@gamersoflostspark.com. Also, if you're feeling generous, please leave us a review on iTunes. It helps the pod get noticed and onto that all-important main page. And if you like this video, like the YouTube clip, and we will do some more of it if you want to see our faces.
Yeah, let us know if you think this is a good thing, if you think it...
Don't let us know if it's a
if
bad
it's a bad
thing.
thing, don't bother letting us know at all. But I'd just like to say apologies for my sniffling throughout the video. I'll be, I'm sure, better in a week or so. And once again, yeah, a huge thank you to globegig.com for making this happen.
Thanks very much. Catch you next week. Bye.
Bye.